This is the Oracle Analytics Data Visualization Optimization Community Spotlight webinar. This is a quarterly webinar. This is the December version, and this is our third instance. So this is really fun to do. This is one of our favorite webinars to host, and one of mine at least. And we're excited to get started. So let's hop right in. All right, so my name is Jamie Anderson. I'm on the product strategy team for Oracle Analytics. And before we get started, I just want to show the safe harbor statement. We always show that, and also the forward-looking statements as well. And here's our agenda for today. We will have my opening remarks. I'm just going to kind of go over the flow of this webinar, and expert commentary, our technical expert commentary, and then some optimization takeaways. Finally, we'll have a conclusion and Q&A at the end. This should take roughly an hour. If we do need to go a little longer, we probably will. We'll see how timing kind of shakes out in terms of questions and stuff. Also, to note, this is different than last webinars, but what we want to do is in this webinar, if you have questions about the specific DVAs or the specific workbook, please post them actually in the community, on the community site, in that post that's linked in the chat. And then we will prioritize those questions first. You're welcome to use the Q&A, but like I said, we're going to prioritize the community site. And the beauty of that is that if we don't get to your question during the webinar, then we can address it afterwards and you guys can be updated as well. Because if you have a question, other people probably do too. And then it's reference for perpetuity. We're going to go over the original visualization that a customer submitted to us, and she is on the call today. And then we will go over the optimized visualization. So we took their use case and we optimized it at Oracle with members from our Oracle Analytics team and also our design team as well. Again, if you want to follow along during the presentation, I would just recommend referring to that link. Then just put it in the chat. Again, that's the easiest way. I have some other resources as well, but if you go to that link, it has everything on this slide. So one and done. Next, I'm going to introduce Ben Arnoff. He's the Senior Director of Product Strategy for Oracle Analytics. Ben, I'm going to pass it to you.
Thank you, Jamie, and hi, everyone. So I'm Ben. I'm going to show you a few things, so maybe we can go to the next slide. Perfect. So we redirect you to the community all the time because yesterday we grow the community and we reach a milestone to 100,000 members. And I recognize in the name that a lot of you are part of the community. You post every day in the community. You share your visualization. You share some features. So thank you very much for all your help. Remember, the community website, it's not only a place to ask questions, it's a place to network with each other, see different events, share your visualization, ask for different people to help you. So again, congratulations. You have to know that every time we have an event where we are trying to find a speaker for a keynote, or we have some happy hour or some event across the world, the first thing we do with Jamie, with Fari, and the rest of the team, it's to go to the community and pick up people and ask them to come and speak about their journey of Oracle. And when we send goodies, same thing. So you have to know that being part of a community is putting you as a priority for a lot of different events. So again, thank you for being part of the community. We are really happy to have you. On the next slide, I think we have one big thing we are launching. I think it's in February now, 2nd. So you can see we will have a launch webinar on January 13th. We will have different training to help you to do the best data visualization. And then competition, we start February 2nd until March 2nd, so one full month. You will be able to create a data visualization and submit the data visualization. What is good is that it's open to all beginners, which means that even if you never created a data visualization, between January 13th and March 2nd, you will have training, you will have a free instance of Oracle Analytics. We teach you how to do infographic, how to do data visualization, and at the end we will select some winners. I think last year we got 1,000 registration, 10 winners. You can see all their data visualization inside the community in the data visualization gallery. And this year we allow you to use the AI feature of Oracle Analytics. So again, please register today. I think Jamie, perfect, as always on time. Jamie is putting the registration link into the chat. Even if you are not sure you are able to create a data visualization, just register. Come to the launch webinar and we will help you to do that. Okay, it's a big data visualization competition challenge, and it's really to learn more than to win. But you are welcome to register. I think that's it for me. So back to you, Jamie. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, so next portion of today's call, I'm going to introduce one of our customers, Jamie Solander. She is a business intelligence analyst at the University of Texas System. So Jamie came to us when basically last webinar I asked the attendees, and I'll do it again this webinar, hey, are you interested in giving us a workbook to optimize, right, in the next webinar? So Jamie reached out and said, sure. So I didn't only pick her because her name is Jamie, but we loved this use case. We got a lot of feedback that people wanted to hear some HR or people use cases. So we thought, hey, this fits. So also, on the post, I've seen that this actually resonates with a lot of people. And I think it doesn't only resonate, just as we go through it, it doesn't only resonate to universities. I could see the application across really any industry in terms of your reporting, your people reporting, and the budgets that are required for salaries and things like that. So enough of me speaking. I would love to introduce Jamie Solander, and while she is speaking about their use case, I'm going to actually show the demo, or the demo version of their dashboard that they submitted. So just note that it is demo data, and that's what we're showing throughout this whole presentation is demo data in this webinar. So with that, Jamie, I will pass it to you, and I will go ahead and show your dashboard. Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. So my name is Jamie as well, and I work for the University of Texas System Shared Information Services Group. It's a group that supports University of Texas institutions with PeopleSoft and business intelligence applications. And we were approached by several university budget directors to develop an employee and position roster report to show the overall employee distribution across the departments, as well as funding information, details about salaries, vacancies, and budgeted data. So this was the visualization that we developed. Because we support several institutions, we ended up putting several different tree nodes on the table just to make sure that we were getting into the granularity needed by all of the universities. On the left, we have prompts that allow you to filter based on what your tree node requirements are. There's also a prompt at the bottom that lists all of the different departments in case you're having trouble finding it in the tree node. The main visualization on this dashboard is the department summary table in the middle. It drives all of the other visualizations on this page. When you select one of the departments, the top three visualizations and bottom table populate. We have a visualization in the top, which is headcount by department and employee class. Employee class for us is which classification of employee are you? Are you faculty? Are you a student? Are you work study? Are you a classified employee? The middle table is average annual rate by employee class for the department that was selected. And we also have vacancies by position, which provides a snapshot of how many vacant positions and what the titles are for that department. If you scroll down towards the bottom of the dashboard, there is a vacant positions table. This provides a list of all vacant positions and whether there is any budgeted salary attached to that vacant position so the department can decide what they need to do with that vacancy. We do also have a drill feature. So if you right click on the department and go to employee detail, it takes you to a new screen that provides a detailed list of employee data. So this would be all of the employees in that department in the top table there, which includes information about their position, their job code description, their name, their pay rate, and what their budgeted salary amounts are. When you select a row in that top table, it filters the bottom two current funding distribution and budgeted salary detail tables, which source from the DBT table in PeopleSoft to provide some information about how this position is funded and where their salary is coming from. So that's a
Great,
quick
thank
overview
you.
of our visualization. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jamie. And with that, I am going to hand it off. And, just again, thank you again to you and the University of Texas System for showing us your workbook and allowing us to feature it on this webinar and optimize it. We have the design expert commentary. Apologize for the hiccup there. We have Kara Clyde and Sarai Tenorio. Sarai is not able to join us today, but I am happy to have Kara here. So Kara, love to have you introduce yourself. I will run the slides for you and we will move forward.
Thank you, Jamie. So great to see you all. Good. Oh, see if I can get my video on. I'm unable to start my video. Are you able to give me permission to start my video?
Check that out.
Oh, here we go. Start my video.
There you are.
All right, great. So great to see everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Carolyn Clyde, and I'm a senior principal user experience designer at Oracle. And I'm going to walk us through our human-centered approach to dashboard design that we practice. So using the University of Texas's dashboard, Jamie's dashboard, in our case study, I'll show you how we transformed human needs into clear, actionable data. Next slide. So on the left, as you saw in our walkthrough, this is where we started. And so as designers, we can use design heuristics to take a look at a dashboard. These are rules of thumb. And you can see that while it's a very functional dashboard, it's a bit dense with lots of charts and filters and two tables competing for attention. And on the right is where we ended up with a structured, branded, narrative-driven dashboard that helps managers answer their questions, hopefully faster. And so because we are human-centered designers, what you see on the right is not just a visual makeover, but a redesign focused on the human needs. And so next, I'll show you how we did that. All right, so our starting point was by defining our purpose and audience. And so we learned that department managers need a fast, reliable way to understand their workforce, see the role distribution, and identify vacancies and funding gaps. And that drove all of our design choices. This is our design process. This is a framework that we use repeatedly, which is like to define the purpose, the user needs, conduct an analysis, organize the data, create a structure, and then visuals last. When I say user needs, I'm curious in the chat, what's your guess about what the type of user needs are that dashboards provide or this dashboard provides? Any guesses in the chat about user needs for this dashboard we're talking about? Or a type of human needs that dashboards? Yep, quick insights. Drilling, customization. That's an advanced one, but yeah. Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, cost and budget, exactly. So next slide, Jamie. Meaningful insights, these are all great. So what we did to find out the user needs of this dashboard is that we asked the University of Texas, what are the business questions that this dashboard answers? And while you're getting those, can you rank these by priority? And so what we got back mirror a lot of what you're talking about. So UT needs to understand the composition of their workforce They need to track vacancies, validate budget versus current. So they came back to us with these top 5 user needs. And what was so great about getting them to rank them by priority is that it really helped us to think about how to organize the dashboards so that their top priority, mirrors at the top of the page. So if you could take us to the next slide. So what you see on the right, those are those top user needs that we heard this dashboard needs to satisfy. And then I conducted an analysis to see, is it obvious at first glance? I know people become experts at their tool, but at first glance, is it obvious where to get answers to these top questions? And so I mapped, question number 1, that's in the upper left-hand corner. That's perfect. That's where we want your number 1 business question to be answered, because as left to right readers, we always start in the top left. And then I did a further analysis, and while I know that all of these needs are met by this dashboard, at first glance, it's not obvious where 3 of these are met, I think because it requires drill down and the use of filters. And I see some opportunity for improvement as far as ordering the page to satisfy these needs. And then let's take a look. So one more thing to say about the analysis is that by looking at the top user needs, I really saw that there was a theme, kind of 2 clusters of user needs, some organized around staffing composition for high-level awareness, and then another set of needs focused in a more detailed way on vacancies and funding for actionable decisions. And then realizing that, I came to see that there's 2 modes that managers come to this dashboard in, two different kind of times in their work cycle where they'll be coming to this dashboard. And this presented a natural way to divide the dashboard. Next screen. And so with these clusters, and now you see these clusters as rows in this decision matrix, we were able to use this to build out a decision matrix. And so this is helpful for collaborating with the other cross-functional partners and prepping the dashboard, organizing what data is needed to answer which business questions, define a clear purpose, the narrative role, and then visualizations. And this is a great place where OAC's assistant and dashboard can help by saying, what the goals are of the visualization and getting suggestions for visualizations that will satisfy those needs. Next slide. And UT also had great branding guidelines. And so we were able to use those guidelines to brand that dashboard. And you can see by looking at the final design that we went really hard on the primary blue color, but we're used very sparingly the orange and red. And that's a suggestion I have for all of us. I think sometimes when we look at brand guidelines, we see, oh, there's these 3 colors. And people might go a little harder on the secondary and tertiary colors, but we want to use those accent colors sparingly. Next slide. And so this is where we landed. We've got, these KPIs along the top to establish a clear hierarchy. And when I say hierarchy, I mean, where's your eye drawn? How does it lead around the page, and which business questions get answered? We can see a concentric donut here to communicate role proportions clearly, and a narrative text above that to interpret this insight. Everything supports fast comprehension with minimal cognitive load. And so this is the staffing composition tab. You can see these 2 tabs at the top. And if we go to the next slide, this is the vacancy and funding allocation. So here, a different chart type to support different business questions. And what's great about this two tab layout is that it minimizes the overload. So now there's not 2 tables on one page, and the eye is more comfortably moves through the data and answers those questions. And it even allows managers to bookmark these 2 tabs independently. So, maybe I more frequently am curious about vacancies and funding allocation, I can skip right ahead to that tab. And our last slide for me. These are just some tips for success. So, start with human need, choose viz types that suit each need, and our assistant can help with those. I'll paste these in the chat. Use hierarchy to make it easy for people to use the dashboard without getting overwhelmed. And as a new user, break the content into logical groupings and consider multiple screens. And then once you've created your first draft of the dashboard, check it against human needs. And so I mean, re-review the priority list of business questions your dashboard is answering, but also test it with real people, and maybe even do this before you start fussing with the details and alignment. Just really early, grab a couple of people that'll use it and just put it in front of them and give them the task of imagining that they are trying to use this dashboard to answer their questions. And lastly, use the brand colors, the accent colors sparingly. Thank you so much. It was my pleasure to work on this dashboard, and I'm excited to hear feedback from our users.
Thank you so much, Kara, and thank you to Sarai as well, who's not here presenting today, but she also did a significant amount of work on this.
Yes, shout out to Sarai. Thank you.
Great. Moving forward here, Patrick Ube, and let me just move forward here so I can introduce him properly. He is our Senior Solutions Architect on the Customer Excellence team with Oracle Analytics. He is our technical expert. He did a lot of kind of behind the scenes work in setting this up. So the floor is yours, Patrick. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so then you can kind of share your live version. And again, just to reiterate for those following along, please post your questions in the community post or in the Q&A. We will prioritize questions in the Q&A, or I'm sorry, excuse me, in the community post first, and then refer to the Q&A. I did see a question, just a general question. Will the slides be posted afterwards? Yes, we will. Also, a recording will be available after the call as well. Just give me a few days to get that worked out. So with that, Patrick, I will stop sharing my screen and pass it to you. Sound good?
Yes, thanks a lot, Jamie. So let me share my screen now. You all see my screen, yes? Everything good? Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to deep dive into the workbook with you. Actually, this is the public instance, so you all have access to, so I'm using the same one. So first, the goal is to look at the dashboard and how the user can interact with it. And then we will deep dive on the technical part, so how we have set up everything. So Kara already described how the dashboard works, but I just want to show how we can interact with. So as you can see here, you have on the left panel, you have the profile icon of Kara, but the user can select another manager. So let's say I'm selecting Benjamin, and the whole canvas will update. I have also dynamic text box here that change as well depending of the user providing an insight that is specific to him, to the manager. I also have a button here. So this overall dashboard here, the first tab that we are seeing, staffing composition, is more about the headcounts, total employees, etc. But we also have access directly from that page to the vacant positions. And we have, through that button, a table through a pop-up with all the vacant position, with the allocated budget and the funding date. I will, let me actually reload. I don't know, I was maybe into the dashboard for too much time. So you can see here the pop-up showing up. So I have a conditional formatting for the budgeted salary amounts here on the right side. And I have also conditional formatting based on the dates. So I will show that it's a new feature, which can be pretty useful. So I can see which vacant position have budget or not, thanks to the conditional formatting. And I can see which vacant position have a funding date that is passed. So I need to focus on this one first. So the main visualization that we have here is this like two donuts chart visualization. So basically it's two donuts on top of each other that we have here, and I can interact with it. So first I have my tooltip. So it's a customized tooltip where I can see like key information. So the name of the departments, number of employees, average age, average years of service, etc. And if I click on one department, it will filter the overall canvas. What I can do from this donut chart as well is that I can trigger a data action and go to the same vacant position list, but here it will be also filtered on that specific department. And from that page now we can open a new tab, which is the vacancies and funding allocation. Sorry, I think I have some issue with my browser. So on that page we have same. So we have a view, we have a button, same with a pop-up, where here we are going to have the Gantt charts showing a calendar with all the open position, which is a new feature as well, a new visualization. Here I can see all open position into this calendar. So I will show you how to set it up. I have my dynamic text box here that is changing depending of the user. And I have this visualization as well that I can change the measure inside my visualization. So right now it was showing vacant position, but by selecting directly in the legend, I can change the measure that I have inside the visualization. And I can click into the visualization to select the whole canvas as well. So this visualization is made as a filter. One of the main feature as well is the AI agents that we cannot avoid anymore. So the agent is enabled on that workbook. So I can ask a question directly, and here I will ask directly how many employees do I have to hire in 2036. This is an agent, so it's not the classic AI assistant. With the agent, I have custom instructions and I have custom documentation. So the agent will be able to look at my instructions and my knowledge, search on that knowledge to provide a better and more accurate answer. So from my question, it was able to generate like a custom visualization. So here I can see all vacant position for 2026. And I can also see some information based on the knowledge that I've uploaded. So here, and actually, this is some knowledge I've exported from the University of Texas website on the actual hiring process that we have here. So you have both a custom visualization that is based on the instruction I've given, and this custom documentation that enhance the response from the agent. And last but not least, let me show you that the assistant is also available on mobile. So I've just recorded that this morning. So my dataset is available in the mobile app as well. So I can ask question in my app and I will get a response from this assistant as well. So when I set up the assistant for my workbook, it will be both available for the dashboard, but it will also be available on my mobile app. Just showing you the second question. I was trying to scrolling on my video. I was sorry, I was going back. I don't know why. It's a bit excessive. It's yeah. So you see the point. So now let's go to edit mode. So here I'm going to go into my own instance. Let me refresh because I think I'm loaded for too much time now. So just want to explain how we have created these two donut charts. So this is possible thanks to the freeform layout. When you look at the canvas properties, you can see here that I have the freeform layout. So basically, freeform layout allow me to create pixel perfect reporting, so I can position my visualization anywhere in the workbook. While when I'm selecting auto fit, all visualization will be stacked together. And thanks to freeform, as I can position all visualization wherever I want, I can hover multiple visualization on top of each other. So this is thanks to this layout that I'm able to create these two donut chart visualization. What I have into my canvas properties as well, I have a background image that is allowing me to have this gray section on the left and gray section on the top. Also, what you can see into my report, it is responsive. So if I resize my browser, you will see that my report will resize automatically. And you can see also that my top header here is custom. So it's the same top header than the University of Texas website. So we've replicated the same header with the OAC, all the OAC functionalities on the top here. So let me show you how to do that. When I go into present mode, you can toggle header, we can untoggle header, so you can hide the header if you want to. You can change the color, transparency, but you can also upload an image. So this is what I've done. I've uploaded this top header image, and I've just set it up as auto fit for the width and the height. So it will fill the entire area of this top header. Regarding the responsiveness, I've enabled zoom and I set it up to fit to width. So which means that it will fit to the width of the screen of the browser of the user. And finally, into present mode, what I've done, I've enabled Insights panel. So as you can see here, my Insights panel also have my workbook assistant enabled. So thanks to this, my user can have access to the assistant. And what I've done as well is that when you go into the assistant here, you can join the agents. So by default, when you enable the assistant, you will have the classic assistant. But when you want to join the specific agent with custom instructions and custom documentation, you have to join this agent from that panel into the edit mode. Now let's go back into the first page. There are multiple things that I wanted to share with you. First of all, the buttons. So the buttons are highly customizable. You can change the color, change the size. You can also put icons. So you can display the buttons in many different ways. So we are using the buttons here for view vacant position, but we are also using them for this tab button here on the top. So you can have a very different type of buttons. And to make them work, you just need to create a data action. So we already covered that into the last webinar, so I'm going to be quick, but basically you need to toggle off requires data, and you will select the canvas that you want to redirect to. And once you've created your data action in the button, you will just into action here, select the data action that you want to trigger for that button. What we have as well into the dashboard is the custom tooltip. So this is something common. So you just provide additional measure into your tooltip, and then you click on custom, and you will be able to create a custom tooltip with the design that you want. You can colors, so whatever you want. So when user hover it, it will be customized as needed. Let's go now to vacancies and funding allocation. So just want to show the column swap feature. So this feature allow me to change the measure that I have into my visualization. When I select this visualization, I need to go into the properties, select advanced, and then I will toggle on a column swap. And then you need to put into the related columns all columns that you want to be available for the user to switch into the visualization. It can be measures, or it can even be attributes. It works well with visualization like bar charts. So the user can change both axis and also the measure, so they can change whatever they want into a same visualization. In the past, we had to use parameter, calculation, and filter, but now everything can be done just with that column swap feature, which gives a lot of flexibility for the user.
Can you demo that real quick again, just in the play or in the present mode, so that they can see that? Or if you're able to right here, that's perfect.
Yeah, so you can here change the measure into your visualization. And the columns are, I've added this column into the related columns here. So this is thanks to that I'm able to change the columns. When you're going into the properties, you can actually also change the type of the formatting. So by default, I have vacant positions, which is a number. But when I switch to budgeted salary amount, I want it to be currency. So this is possible into the properties here. I just change. So I have my vacant position that is a number, and my budgeted salary amount that is a currency. My dynamic text box, this is also something we covered in the last webinar, so I'm going to be quick. Basically, we are using parameters. So here I'm calling a parameter that is called vacant positions. So this parameter is here, and it is a SQL query into my parameter that is calling all vacant position. And the thing is, I'm using my manager filter to update this query. So when I change my manager, it will change the query and then populate into my text. Now we can go into the vacant position lists, where I can show the conditional formatting. So this is a new feature as well. So here we have the like classic conditional formatting, where I'm just highlighting the budget that is more than 0 and the budget salary that is equal to 0, just to highlight the vacant position that do not have any budget allocated. And the new feature from the November release is that now we can set up a conditional formatting based on a date. So here I'm just highlighting that any funding effective date that is inferior as the current date, I want to highlight it as a yellow. So this is a new feature that is also pretty interesting. Into the calendar tab, Canvas, we are using the Gantt chart. So the Gantt chart is also a new visualization that is available now. Very good for like project management or this kind of report where we want to show some kind of timeline or calendar view. you can put like one category and two different range. So here I have a first range with funding effective date, and the end time can be either a date or a duration. So I can easily see when the funding date for the vacant position starts, and how long do I have to fill out this position. So it's easier for me to manage all these vacant positions. This Gantt chart can be very useful as well for project management. Do you have are there any questions so far, or does someone want me to focus on something specific? Jamie, I don't know if you have seen something in the questions.
We do have one about the how you kind of had the tab view with the two canvases, so staffing composition and make it, yeah. So how did you make that?
So the tab view, yeah. So this is just using the buttons. So we are using a buttons that look like a tab. So in the button, instead of actually maybe I should show you button style auto. No, it's not auto. That would be solid maybe. If I change, actually, let me bring up a button relation. So if I bring a button, it will be like this, but you can customize it. So you can remove the border, you can make it as just a link, and you can change the background color. You can add you can add different graphic, etc. I think I'm disconnected. I will have to connect again. So you can change the icon, etc. So it's very customizable, and this is thanks to this that actually you can make any kind of interaction with this button feature and make look like a tab. Any other question before I move forward?
Yes, 1 second. So the column swap feature, and this is asked by Caroline, who was featured in the last webinar. The column swap feature, can this be used in a table visualization?
I didn't check. I will have to check.
We'll answer that after the webinar.
I don't know about that one.
Okay. No worries. We also have a few other ones too. Here, this is a follow-up actually from the last one. So we use freeform, not autofit, for those buttons, for those little tabular, or not tabular, sorry, for the tabs across the top. Yes, that's correct. We did use freeform in this particular workbook.
Yeah.
And then let's see, another one too is how did we get the profile pictures? So where we have the selecting, yeah, that's a good one. So how does that work?
Yeah, and I wanted to mention it and I forgot. So I'm using Vision. So it's a plugin, it's an extension that we can share with you. So in OEC you can import any extension that you want. And the extension will be available into the visualization here. So as you can see here, I have multiple plugins like image gallery, vision plugin. I have multiple ones. So here I'm using a vision plugin that allow me to put the URL of the image and will display the image from the URL. The only thing that you need to do is to put the domain of the URL as safe domain into your console. That's it. And then actually the URL is into one of my datasets. So I have the URL here attached with my manager. That's why I can display the icon here. Any other question or I can move
I'm
forward.
actually, I think maybe one last question. This should be short. The question is, have we used Python in this DB, in this data visualization?
Python?
Answer is no, right?
No,
No, we
no.
have not. This is just the functionality of the Oracle Analytics data visualization workbook.
This is
and-
all native. This is all drag and drop basically. So you can do everything yourself. The only, I would say, like customization will be the parameter with the SQL query. However, this is very easy to do. Let me show you if I'm going into developer mode and I want to use this measure as a parameter to be displayed into a text. I'm just going into the developer mode and I'm going to take the SQL from here. So I'm just copy pasting the SQL here. I'm not doing it myself. So I just copy paste that. I create a parameter. So this is a measure. So let's actually, it might be a double SQL. I will type this SQL query. And now when I bring it here, so you will see the value that is here. So it's pretty straightforward. So this is the only like customization and query that I had to do. Let me just move forward quickly on the agents, as it's a new feature. So when you build an agent, now you can put custom instructions. So into this custom instruction, I just described the dataset to make sure that the agent understands it and is accurate when it responds to me. And I've also described a few use cases, a few type of question where I wanted like a specific type of response. So I'm putting these custom instructions. It can be, so you can do whatever you want. You can be very creative, very specific into this custom instruction. I am putting a first message. So that will be the first message the user will get when opening the chat. And I will put all that knowledge. So the knowledge that you have seen when I demo it a few minutes ago, it was coming from actually these documents that are now stored for that agent. And the agents look at the instructions and the knowledge, searching in the knowledge before doing the query and before generating the response. This is very, very powerful. And I will be very interested to see what kind of instructions and documents you're going to upload into your agent, because that will be pretty powerful use cases. And yeah, we'll be very interested to see what you're doing with it. I think I'm good for my part, so we can have like a Q&A and end of the session.
Awesome. Yeah, we do actually have another question that came in, and this is probably a more broader question for the crowd, or for Kara and myself and you. So it's good to see a Gantt chart in OAC. Can you think of some other use cases other than project management? I guess right off the cuff, I mean, this one kind of is. I mean, I wouldn't consider this example. Maybe Patrick, if you don't mind sharing your screen again, and that Gantt chart that we have, that one isn't necessarily project management in the way I think that you would traditionally think of it. So if we go to that view calendar button.
Yeah, let me go back into here.
Yeah. So I mean, really, this is kind of showing a funding calendar. And if you hover over one of those blocks of data, maybe sorry, not the tiles, but not the filters, but the other one, like the green ones or the blue ones. If you kind of hover what it shows, it's kind of showing, like the funding effective date, the funding end date. So it's kind of project management, but not quite, because it's just showing, when you have certain funding allocation portions. Ben, did you want to add to that as well?
Yeah, for healthcare, I know that they have patient management where they look at the different phase of the patient journey, when the patient is arriving to the hospital, when he gets the treatment, and so on and so on. So yeah, it's obviously always a type of timeline and management of different phases, which can be taken as project management, but in different industry, you have a ton of different use cases. Yeah.
Great. Another question we have, and this was asked a little earlier, what was the timeline for this whole project for the University of Texas? And I'm assuming it's our optimization portion timeline. What did the checkpoints and check-ins look like? I will say this spanned over a few weeks, but primarily because we obviously have other things that we're working on, so we weren't 100% dedicated to this all at the same time. I would say checkpoints, and we did have different checkpoints where we would have, since we did have two teams essentially involved, we had our design team with Kara and Sarai and Patrick, so we did have like a few recurring calls where we'd kind of check on progress and kind of see maybe any tweaks that we'd want. So we kind of had a few of those. The biggest thing is having a deadline, because I think what you can do is you can constantly refine, right? But at some point, I mean, in the real world too, you can continue to refine that. So, but yeah, you can always find ways to make it better. And so that's kind of what was going on there. So hopefully that helps answer your question. We have a few others too. I'll just read them through. This might be for you, Patrick. How did you get to the page to configure the assistant for this specific workbook? I saw the page, but I missed how you got there. So I think he's referring to the agents.
Yes. So when you will have this feature enabled, in the create button, you will have this new icon opening. So you just click on it. You can then select the dataset that you want to use, and then like creating your agent. And the agent will be available here, a agent, so you can see all the agents that I've created. So you just open it, and then you can edit it.
And I think there's one question that Ben would like to answer. Thank you for that. And in the meantime, what I will do is I'm going to share my screen again. So Ben, if you would like to answer that one.
Yeah, so is there an organizational chart visual in OAC? That's from Z. Waldemariam. So this is on the product roadmap, so you are going to see that soon. I'm going to put in the chat the link of the product roadmap. What you have to know, and the product roadmap is in the community website also. What you have to know is that the product roadmap is divided in 3 sections: current, incoming, and future. Current, it has been already released. Incoming, it's in the next usually 12 months, and future could be in the 12 months or after. So the product roadmap, if you go today, you are going to see one of the latest one. Now, if you go into maybe next week, I think we are releasing the next one by December 15th. So again, you can download it now and you will see an update of the roadmap next week. But to answer your question, yes, it's going to be available very soon.
Right, great. We're going to move forward to the next section. I do see there's a few other questions, so we will touch on that at the very end. Just want to conclude this webinar before we, by the end. So with that, I'm going to pass it right back to you. And we're going to kind of score the original workbook and then kind of go to the optimized version in terms of our score. Go for it.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks. So we have currently a data visualization matrix, which is helping us to score your data visualization. We have a patent for this matrix, so we will release that soon. I know every time after each webinar, we have a question about this matrix and if we can send it to you. It will be available soon. So what we did before, when University of Texas sent us the workbook, we look at different components. Does the workbook has a footer, a background, a title, a logo, customization of a color, and so on and so on. So we have a grid with maybe 20 different checkpoints that we do, like when you bring your car to Porsche or Audi or any other one, they do a checkpoint of each thing on your car. Here it's the same. We do a checkpoint of a workbook and then we score it. And when we score, here we had a score of 9, which is basically level intermediate, which means that the person that created the workbook has already some type of good experience with analytic and data visualization and business intelligence. It's not a beginner. But then if we go to the next slide, after the design team took care of it, after Patrick took care of it, after we did some round of review internally, and we check all the box. Did we have AI inside? Do we have some advanced filter? Do we have some advanced visualization like a Gantt chart or a map? Do we have some advanced KPI, conditional formatting, a title, a logo, and so on and so on and so on? You can see that the score climbed to 45. 45, it's really like expert mode, and you can have even like way more than 45. Sometimes we saw some data visualization up to 60 or 65 in the data visualization challenge. We don't necessarily want you as a customer or partner or user to be at the expert level. A CEO or an accounting department, they don't necessarily need to see an accounting dashboard as an expert level. Where we usually want you to be, it's at the corporate level, so leader level, score 27 to 41, or the corporate level, advanced level, 13 to 26. So sometimes just a little bit of tweaks can be relevant for your dashboard. But obviously, if you want to add everything, it will be something you can post on social media for marketing, and that it's level expert. So if you want to see the difference between all these levels, join our analytic and AI data visualization challenge. You are going to see a lot of this data visualization, and you will see the training, how we build them, how we can improve the score. And I think it's the last slide. Back to you, Jamie.
Yes, that's right. And also, I encourage you guys to vote in the poll that I have running. I'm actually going to end that very shortly because I have a few more other things I want to ask you. Like, do you want to be featured in the next one? What type of topics do you want to see on these? So if you can just kind of hang around while I run those polls in the meantime. I'm going to keep this up. I have one other question that I see in the chat. So we're not in the chat, but in the Q&A, and I do encourage you guys to post there if you do have questions. So noticing these visualizations in the data set. So whenever you're probably downloading the DVA, you're seeing that it's always coming from a file when we have these webinars versus like a DB connection, database connection, or a subject area. That is by design for these webinars, because if we were to connect to a subject area, you guys wouldn't be able to access it in your environments. So that's only why we're doing it this way. So yeah, I mean, I would say best practice is, you know, whatever your business requirements need, but most business requirements, you know, have some sort of connection to a database or a subject area. But yeah, we only have the CSV files for that reason for this particular webinar. So hopefully that helps answer the question there. Let's see, I'm going to refresh our post page. Let's see if there's any other questions here. I don't see any others, and we will, if you guys do have questions after the webinar, please post them there. I can also go ahead and put a link in the chat here. This is the same one that I did earlier, just the longer URL. With that, I'm going to end the poll, and I'm also going to just run a few more polls. It's 2 more. Should have combined these in retrospect, so give me 1 second to do that. So I'm going to launch if you'd like to be featured in a future session, so please vote on that as well. I will keep this page up in the meantime, and if there are any other questions, we will try to get to them. I know we're going over a smidge, so.
Being
Basically, if you
feature,
say-
it's just one quick thing. Being feature,
Yeah.
it's very good because not only we look at your dashboard, but we are also redesigning it. So if you are willing to be featured, you know that you have a design team, a product management team, which is going to spend at least a week on your preferred dashboard. Back to you, Jim.
Yep. And what I'll do is from these results that I get, probably after the new year, I will reach out to everyone that voted yes or maybe in this poll and give you some time to kind of put something together and send us, and we will make a decision from there to feature in the next webinar. So thank you. I'm going to end this poll and one more just to see any subjects that might be of interest. If you want to vote on that, welcome to. Kind of helps us kind of decide to who we showcase, and it looks like just seeing the results come in, it's pretty split up pretty evenly. So I'll run that for a little bit, but in the meantime, thank you so much for attending today. We really love having these webinars. We love having your questions. We love having your interactivity in the community. Keep it coming. Keep the questions coming. We love them. And thank you again. So with that, we will call it a day. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Thank you. Bye.